I'll call the meeting to order. This is the October 2021 meeting of the Environment and Land Use Committee. Just roll call. People at the table will introduce ourselves. I'm George Brandt, representing District 6 of Trempealeau County Board.
Beth Killian, I'm supervisor number 7, and I'm the secretary for the committee.
Kellen Nelson, represent District 14 and vice chair of the committee.
Brian, District 16 supervisor.
Randy Severson, livestock producer member of the committee.
Chuck?
Chuck Zauner, county conservationist.
Burge Gamera, Department of Land Management. I do the minutes for the meeting, and I'll be introducing the reasons today.
Mark?
Mark Carlson, Landman.
Mike Corman, Land Management Director.
Thank you. We have an unamended 14-item agenda. What's the wish of the committee? By Scoyan, second by Nelson. Anything you want to point out, Mike, we need to take into consideration?
For the agenda?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right, in which case, all in favor of approving the agenda as printed, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. It is
Did you
approved.
certify?
Thank you very much, Beth. I will certify the open meeting law requirements have been met by postings and advertisements and so forth. The minutes from the September 1st meeting we have had in our packets, and they've also been on available. Motion by Nelson to approve, second by
Killian.
By Killian. Any corrections, additions? Oop, Beth just turned off her mic, so probably nothing. All in favor of approving the minutes as printed, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. They are approved. This is one of the leaves change, the birds fly south, and Dwayne Snowball comes to our meeting. Fall has arrived.
Well, thank you, George.
So this is the Wildlife Damage and Claims Program. Dwayne, please introduce yourself and let's run through our items, our 5 items here.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm Dwayne Snowball of USDA Wildlife Services. Mike, I have not met you yet, look forward to meeting you. I don't know how long you've been in your position, but Trempealeau County's worked with Wildlife Services to administer the Wildlife Damage Abatement and Claims Program on their behalf since, I think, 97 would be my guess, somewhere in that time frame. I apologize for not getting here more. We had 2 people retire and 1 move on to the private sector, so we finally got everybody hired and we're helping train everybody, so it's been chaotic to say the least, not to mention the pandemic as well. So apologize not getting here more often. So as George mentioned, this is the time of year that the committee has to do certain things. Number 1 on the agenda my list is setting crop prices for 2021. Again, I use the same procedure as I always have. I monitor crop prices from October last year to September this year and develop an average. The corn price is over close to 100 different prices. Use NAS statistics, different mills throughout the region I cover, and then 1 ethanol plant to come up with the corn price. Soybeans is similar with the exception of the ethanol plant. And then also the hay price is developed through NAS, the hay market report through W. Madison, and then local or regional hay auctions. So the prices that are presented there, everything's higher from last year, obviously. I think corn last year was $3.32. I forget what the bean price is. I forgot to bring my folder for the crop prices. But those represent the average prices that over the last year.
Excuse me, I came in late, and so I'm a little disorganized. Do we have a handout? Oh,
yeah, I gave you. You should have had one there. I gave Mike, you, and
here we go. Okay, thank you.
And Beth one. So
okay.
Everybody got
Go
one?
ahead.
Okay. So corn came out at $4.69 a bushel. Soybeans $12.44 bushels. Straight alfalfa 166.75 a ton, and alfalfa mixed hay 120.85 a ton, and that represents the average price over the last year. Again, not a perfect system, but it's a defendable system. Come up with the crop prices.
And
I haven't pulled any prices yet. That'll be next week for October 2021 to go into the 2022 prices.
And this will be the payment that'll go to farmers where you have investigated and have shown a crop loss due to wildlife damage.
Correct. Once we appraise, we determine bushels or tons lost. That's what's given to the farmer for their records, and then the committee sets the price, and we put together the claim once the prices have been set.
So, all right, this is where we get to talk about if we want to just agree or tweak the numbers that Dwayne's come to with us.
I would make a motion to go with Dwayne's suggested prices, since he's the expert and that's the average.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second by Scoyen. What's the highest corn has been, and any idea what it is right now?
I don't. Does
Kellen's
anybody
going to
else?
know in a second here.
Yeah, I haven't, because I haven't, next week is the time I'm going to look again.
It has been going up through the year.
Corn, well, it was and then leveled off, and now I think corn's going back up, and then soybeans might be dropping a little.
It's kind of up and down. Corn in Arcadia, Buck Country, or no, Pilgrims, before 92.
Turn on your mic.
Right now, today, right this second, corn at Pilgrims will be $4.92 a bushel. Beans, that's a local market. And soybeans delivered to Arcadia, $11.64.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Corn's bumping up a little, and then soybeans are coming down. I haven't did a lot of corn yet, but black spot or tar spot's an issue, and I don't know if that's driving some or other states have an issue. I don't know,
The
but
tar spot.
yeah, because yields drop significantly.
Really?
Yes.
Things look so good in the field.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be as brown as it is as long as it has been this year.
Oh, so that's an issue, huh?
It's a tar spot. Corn kind of prematurely died due to tar spot,
Yeah.
especially in the southern part of our county.
We have a motion and a second to approve these prices, unless I hear some other ideas.
Make a motion?
I did.
Okay.
It was second,
Okay.
yeah. All right, all in favor of approving the crop prices, to set the crop prices at the recommended rates, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, those are the prices that'll be paid to producers after a loss has been determined, okay?
Correct. Yep, and I'll have you sign everything at the end, George.
Okay.
Second on the list.
Number 2, yep.
Is setting the harvest cutoff day. It's a little early because normally in Trempealeau County I'm coming in November. The 3 that are eligible for claims, I've worked some of their crops already, appraised some of the crops already. There's one I have not. In the past, we've set it at December 1st. We can either if you're not comfortable setting it right now, we can come back in November and do that to get a better idea, or we can project it out and set it in that December range. That should be sufficient. For corn and soybeans, no new people would be eligible. It would be a stored crop situation or some other different crop that potentially could be eligible, but as far as corn and soybeans and hay. But it is earlier than, we've dealt with it before. That's why I said if applicable on my sheet there. So it's kind of up to the committee what they're comfortable with.
Any opportunity to see you again is a
Okay.
great thing.
Well, thank
So if, do we want to take Dwayne's recommendation and wait until November to set that 90% date? If you're willing to come back, let's do that, okay?
Then we'll do that.
And number 3 is the budget proposal.
The budget proposal for Trempealeau County. So basically, if you compare it to last year, it's down about 1%. Had a few less participants this year from the previous year, I guess one, or a couple actually. So that dictates the price. The proposed budget comes down. So again, working with Wildlife Service, there's an allocation of federal funds. Not voting on that, we're voting on the highlighted portion, the DNR funding request. So county administration's the same. Office overhead's down about a little over 200. Abatement materials down a little over 300. Salaries and benefits down just under 650. Mileage and travel, I don't know why they put travel in, it's basically mileage on vehicle costs, is down about 320 on the state side. So everything's pretty much down from the previous year, and that's based on the workload in Trempealeau County.
And this is no cost to the county. These are all DNR
Nope, it's all
funds.
state or federal funds. So basically, working with wildlife services, the 20, just about $23 million is federal funds. Otherwise, it's all state funds that come into the program. There's no county-funded dollars that go into the program.
So our request is to approve the budget proposal.
Yes, for $24,122.57.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to.
Motion by Severson, second by Nelson to approve the 24,122.57. Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, it's approved.
The one quick mention on that too, deer donation. Right now, Bushy's meat's in again for this year. It doesn't list that on there. They did 90 deer last year, and it's $80. That's why there was an increase in the amount for venison processing. So Bushy's is committed to participating again, just for everybody, FYI for everybody. So if somebody asks, where can I donate my deer in Trempealeau County, it'd be Bushy's. That's the only one in Trempealeau County.
There was a presentation on food pantries that I was at a while ago, and there was a significant amount of money that came in from the deer or not money, but meat that came to the food pantry for the deer donation program. It's a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, last year, or the year before, it averaged just over 40 pounds of deer of ground venison. So times that, and they did 90 deer last year, so you
What's
can
the
do the
number
math.
last year of deer?
90 deer donated last year, and Trempealeau, I think, was one of the higher ones.
Yeah, it went down and now it's going up, and
Yeah.
Bushy's is doing a great job.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So, number 4, and listen, this is just an update, and I don't know a lot. I talked to DNR last Friday, that proposed legislation to change the damage program administration. It continues to set in a Senate committee. There's also the version in the Assembly committee too, but it has not moved. It's sitting there. And as it was explained to me, it's simply sitting there because one of the farmers in Sawyer-Russ County pushed the DNR to increase the bear quota in that area where they're having the bear problems. The Wisconsin Bear Hunter Association did not like that. And so the committee it's in, the chair of that committee is Wisconsin Bow Hunter Association member, and they're not moving it. They're not gonna have a hearing on it, so that's the status of that legislation.
So not on the positives or negatives of the of the issue, but rather okay.
Yeah, I don't know where to go from there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I was told, and that's where it's been set in probably 6 months. Don't know when it's gonna move. The
This
session's
count-
open until February. This session's it goes into February, so it could move at some point.
This county board passed a resolution that came out of this committee and was sent to the legislature to keep the system the way it was. There's at least one other county that passed a similar resolution.
Last I heard, there's 4 or 5.
4 or 5, excellent.
Buffalo did. I think Clark did now, and there's some on the east side that have.
The Wisconsin Counties Association legislative people were unaware, not only of the legislation, but also of the program. So I got to do a little bit of education some months ago when this first came up. So
Yeah.
hopefully they're keeping on top of that as well. Number 5, wildlife activity questions.
Yeah, that's just kind of an open forum for you folks. If you have questions, heard things, want to know stuff, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability.
Just run through the list of animals that are on the damage list, or that can damage crops that we pay for.
Deer, bear, geese, turkeys, elk, and cougar. Wolf has its own program. It's a parallel program that doesn't come through the county committee, but those 6 species are eligible. Raccoons are not. You're not, as a landlord, you're not subject to license nor season. If you have a raccoon problem, you can deal with that. Those are the 6 that are currently in statute. Cranes, once they become huntable, will also become one, but would have to
Say
be.
that again?
Cranes, sandhill cranes, there's already language in the statute, but they have to be huntable first before they would be eligible to participate in the or be eligible for the program and reimbursement.
There's a very large billboard on Interstate 39, US 53, advertising in support of making cranes a huntable animal.
Oh, I haven't seen that. That's
Yeah,
certainly possible.
And so apparently in the central part of the state, there's a movement to get them on the list.
That's where we have the majority of problems. There's a seed treatment you can get that if you're having a crane problem, you should get it. It should be done, you should order it that way. It's Ava Pell, and it's highly effective. The powder, you can do the powder after the fact, but the way the planters work, it's not that effective because it blows the powder off. It's an uneven treatment. It's highly effective. Otherwise, it's a taste aversion kind of deal. So yeah, we do have big problems. From a biological standpoint, there's enough cranes for a huntable population. It's just
There is enough?
There is enough, yes, for a huntable population. But other folks would not like to see them hunted, so.
Yeah, other states in the central part of the United States already have hunting seasons
For sandhill cranes.
for sandhill cranes. And that also includes the Dakotas.
Yeah, that's a different flyway, Mike, but yes, there's other states that do. It's kind of, the language in the statute had been, boy, it's probably been over 10 years now since it's been in there. One thing that complicates the matter is trying to get whooping cranes going in the state as another subpopulation, and that stops a lot of stuff because they would be accidentally shot, and they're just a little bit bigger version white.
Mhm.
So, and there are more of them around.
Good.
So,
Yes.
I just saw a little news feed this morning. It was in Ashland, and a farmer had shot a bull
Get
elk.
closer to the mic, Randy.
A bull elk that had escaped last fall from a game farm up there. I guess there were 4 of them that escaped.
okay.
And I'm assuming the farmer shot it probably because it was doing some damage. How are those handled, or where would that fall?
Well, with any captive wildlife, and I'm not an expert on this, but the captive owner has X amount of days to get it back under their control. After that, they can be shot and removed because of disease concerns.
Yeah,
So I don't know much
and-
about that situation.
Yeah, I just saw it this morning.
So I'm assuming it had tags and stuff in the
The
ears
picture
and stuff.
that they used didn't, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it wasn't the picture of the
Yeah,
elk.
because the closest elk up there would be Clam Lake, but they do
Yeah.
take, the wild ones, they do take off. But yeah, generally it's considered, I think they have X amount of days to have recapture and put them back in the fence. And
They're
after,
probably well past that.
yeah, I would assume so, yeah. So,
I just want to assure the public who may be concerned about the thrumming and the vibration going through the walls and the floor that the workers on the outside have not come through any walls yet. It just feels like it. They're compacting their soil for their footings on the Justice Center project. Anything else for Dwayne?
So I need to get some signatures from.
Sure. I'll get, we'll move on to number 7. Thank you for waiting, everybody. I'm going to open a public hearing. This is a land use change request from transitional ag to residential over on Boberg Road in the town of Arcadia. And we have 2 public hearings. If anyone wants to speak to these, there's some, I assume, Verge, there's registration forms over there to
And
fill out and put here, give them to the secretary, and, yeah. So, go ahead and read the notice.
Yep.
Thank you.
There will be a public hearing before the Trempealeau County Environment and Land Use Committee on Wednesday, October 6, 2021 at 9 a.m. in the county boardroom of the courthouse, 36245 Main Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin. The purpose, land use change rezone from transitional agriculture TA to residential 20. R20 on approximately 4.89 acres for the purpose of creating 2 parcels. The location, part of the southwest quarter of Section 19, Township 21 North, Range 9 West, Town of Arcadia, Trempealeau County, Wisconsin. Parcel number 004-00754-0000, and the hearing is requested by Bolin Trucking, LLC, the landowner, Greg Bolin, petitioner. And this was in the paper sent by Virginia Gamroth, the service specialist.
Verge, so the way we do this is that our staff will describe the request, and is Mr. Boland here? Who's,
I don't see him here.
okay. So why don't you go ahead and mention or talk about what the request is, and we'll ask for public comment.
Okay, as Beth read, I received an application on September 9th from Greg Bolin, Bolin Trucking LLC, for a rezone from transitional ag to residential 20. The reason that we have to go to residential 20 is because there is a formula in the ordinance based on the small acreage that he has and the 40 acres that leads us to this R20 zoning density. In order to make the split. It's my understanding that he wants to make the split, and his application says to build a home. I'm not sure if he's building a home or he's planning on selling that parcel to someone else to build a home. Letters were sent to all adjoining landowners, the town clerk and the county board supervisor. The hearing was published in the paper 2 consecutive weeks on 9/15 and 9/22. I did receive a letter from one neighbor. I also have a letter from the town. This particular parcel, everything is rural residential in the land use to the east. If you see on the screens in front of you, you'll see the parcel is that little upside down L-shaped piece. And that the green is rural residential. To the south is the R20 designation. And then the gray to the east, I guess would be, is Buffalo County, actually. So,
To the west.
oh, to the west, yeah, okay, is Buffalo County line. And so, as you can see, the land use plan would keep it as rural residential in that particular area. So, if this is approved, this rezone would go to full county board on October 18th.
Again, if anybody wants to speak to this issue, please sign a form at the entrance there. We are also streaming live or broadcasting one way or the other, and if there's anybody, do we have a phone number?
It's, Beth has it on the public hearing
Okay,
notice.
I missed that. Repeat the phone number if anyone wants to call in to speak to this issue.
715-538-1770.
Okay, 1770-538-1770. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to this request? Is there anyone who either wants to call in or here that wants to speak to this request for a rezone from rural residential to R20 so that a house can be built on a smaller parcel, basically?
No, I'm going to correct you. The zoning is from transitional ag to R20, and the land use plan, the future land use plan is rural residential.
Okay, thank you. Did you say there was a communication from the town?
Yes, I have one from the town, and I also have one from the neighbor.
Okay, let's hear those.
Okay.
But first, let me give the phone number again, 715-538-1770. Okay, thank you.
The letter from the Town of Arcadia is dated August 12, 2021. The Town of Arcadia Board of Supervisors was informed by Greg Bolin, Bolin Trucking LLC, that he is requesting a rezone on approximately 4.89 acres of land on Boberg Lane from transitional ag to R20. The Town of Arcadia Board of Supervisors unanimously passed a motion at their August 11, 2021 board meeting stating that they support this request. Sincerely, Barbara Tock, Chairperson, Town of Arcadia.
Okay. I'll ask a last time, third time, is there anyone who wishes to speak to this request for a rezone?
Do you want me to read this other letter into
I'm
the record?
sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I have a letter here dated, or I should say a fax that I received from Nathan Amundson, who's Arcadia, and his land surrounds that piece of land to the west. You'll see it kind of encompasses 3 sides of it on the mapping. To whom it may concern, please read at the October 6, 2021, 9 o'clock hearing before the Trempealeau County Environment and Land Use Committee regarding land use rezoning of parcel 004-00754-0000. In May 2021, I purchased approximately 26 acres of land on Boberg Lane to be used for hunting, recreation, and gardens. The description was listed as having minimal traffic and dead-end location with natural travel corridors for white-tailed deer. Rezoning parcel 004-00754-0000 from transitional agriculture to residential for the purpose of creating 2 parcels would increase traffic on an already narrow road, decrease my land value, and possibly raise my taxes. The parcel in question is surrounded by my land on 3 sides and therefore could restrict the amount of wildlife that is able to follow their natural path through my lands, as homes would now be built on that land. It could also hinder the ability for me to hunt much of my land depending on the placement of future homes. I ask that the change of land use zoning for parcel 004-00754-0000 from transitional agriculture to residential be denied. Thank you for your time. Nathan Amundson, Arcadia, Wisconsin.
Okay, thank you. Again, last time, is there anyone who wishes to speak to this issue? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing at 9:32 and open up the issue for discussion and possible action. Hold that thought. We have Mike Corman here, who's our environment and our director of the Department of Land Management. We've had lots of discussions about, with him and about how it is the committee and the department are going to move forward. And part of what the discussion revolves around is zoning rezone requests as well as planning. And Mike is here to just describe any number of things related to those issues.
Thanks. The whole idea behind land use planning is to provide a kind of vision for future land use, and you can see on the map, the green area there on the map shows that the future land use plan is rural residential, and the zoning reflects what that future plan has shown, and the town has adopted zoning that's consistent with that. The request here, there is a state law that's called tied to the comprehensive planning law that says all zoning changes must be consistent with the towns and counties comprehensive plan. So if a zoning is going to be switched to something different that's in the plan, that would violate that state statute, and that's a legal basis for a challenge, for someone to potentially challenge that. And it's also, that state statute was passed to kind of really encourage local governments to follow their plan and really emphasize the importance of the future land use plan and kind of connect on-the-ground decisions such as rezonings with the plan. So,
Can you clarify, are you saying must or shall or may?
It says here in the state statutes, ordinances that must be consistent with the comprehensive plan, and it lists county zoning ordinances enacted or amended under chapter 59.69. So it says ordinances that must be consistent with the comprehensive plan. And so a change to something different, to me, wouldn't be in line with state statutes.
Okay. It's been brought to our attention in the past that we tend to, we have a sort of a two-tier approach to how we do rezones. One is we support and assist in the creation of land use plans, yet we also want to agree with the towns whenever they make changes. So we have plans, and then we have requests from the towns or approvals from the towns to make changes. So this committee has traditionally gone along with whatever the town has decided, but we do have responsibilities on other levels to follow the comprehensive plans that the very towns that are asking for changes have incorporated. We become kind of the land use plan cop as well as the facilitator. So, going forward, we'll see how this goes. This is a reminder. This is something we probably have known. We have known this whole time, but have chosen another slightly different path. So that being said, well, there's also another part of our comprehensive planning. Again, this is something we've been talking about for some time, and this comes under our Trempealeau County Code. This is 10.07 related to rezones, and number 6 is the limitations on use. The zoning committee and the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors may, in the process of approving a zoning amendment, limit the use of land to one or more specific uses permitted in the zoning district for which the amendment is sought. So in this case, the person is it Mr. Boland is asking for 2 building sites. If we chose, we could say we'll rezone, but we'll only allow 1 building site based on, and this is a possibility, based on the request of the neighbor, say, or whatever. So all of that being said, we're back to the issue of the rezone. A request for transit, I'm sorry for it to remind me.
Transag to R20.
Transag to R20.
Mhm.
For discussion purpose, I would make a motion to approve the transitional agriculture to residential.
Okay, from Scoyan. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Verge, I wasn't paying attention because I was talking to Dwayne. What was the reason for going to R20?
There's a formula in the zoning ordinance, and based on the small acreage he has, and the formula, he would have to go to R20 to meet that formula.
In order to build 2 structures.
Well, he just indicated on his application that he's splitting acreage to build a house. He doesn't indicate homes, he just indicates a house. So,
But the option would be there.
if he's splitting it into 2 parcels, yeah.
But it would always remain 2, even though it is R20.
Right, that's the most he could, yes. Mhm.
So Boland Trucking owns this, but there's no trucking operation there at this
No,
time?
no.
Okay.
That's just the entity name.
Did they indicate where the split would be ever?
I don't think he did.
Okay, I know there's frontage and things like that.
You would have to do it by certified survey map, because of the small acreage.
Can I make a recommendation? Can I suggest that we ask Mr. Boland to attend our next meeting so that we can get some details? There's just a lot of details here we're not.
I'm surprised he's not here. I mean, he was
Yeah.
notified.
Yeah,
Right.
we had that discussion with one of the last ones when they weren't there, and kind of, yeah, I think they should be there. Somebody should be there, here.
Then could I make a motion to table this until Mr. Boland can appear, so we can ask him the questions?
Okay.
There's a motion to table, second by Nelson. All in favor of tabling this until Mr. Boland can appear, say, or the next meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, because my question was going to be, is there going to be one house or two?
Right. So we're going to move on, and again, I apologize. Our times on the agenda are not always reflected by when we can get to things. So we have another public hearing. This is a consideration related to a land use change, rezone, rural residential to commercial, Errol T. Dorr, landowner petitioner, town of Ettrick, for a storage facility. Is Mr. Dorr here? Yeah, you want to pull up a chair? Thank you. Beth will read the notice. Verge, you're taking the lead on this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you'll be describing it. If there's anything in the description that Verge has missed, you'll add to it, and then we'll ask for public comments. Go ahead.
There will be a public hearing before the Trempealeau County Environment and Land Use Committee on Wednesday, October 6, 2021 at 9:05 a.m. in the County Boardroom of the Courthouse, 36245 Main Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin. The purpose: land use change, rezone from rural residential, RR, to commercial, C, on approximately 1 acre more or less for the purpose of a storage facility. Location: part of the southeast quarter of Section 17, Township 20 North, Range 7 West, in the town of Ettrick, Trempealeau County, Wisconsin. Parcel number 014-00734-0000. Hearing requested by Errol T. Dorr, Fountain City, Wisconsin, landowner petitioner. And it was, I guess I forgot in the last one to read your attendance and comments are encouraged at this hearing. If you're unable to attend and have any questions, please call Virginia Gamroth with the Department of Land Management at 715-538-1916 or email at vergegamroth@County Trempealeau, Wisconsin, U.S. If you're unable to attend and desire to submit a written comment, please send your written comment to Department of Land Management, P.O. Box 67, Whitehall, Wisconsin, 54773, or email to vergegamroth@County Trempealeau, Wisconsin, U.S. Please know that written comments will be read at the public hearing up to 250 words. All written comments must include the name and address of its author and the request that the letter be read at a particular meeting date. Any special interest groups or expert witnesses will be allowed 20 minutes to give a presentation and must register at least 1 week prior to the meeting date by calling Virginia Gamroth of the Department of Land Management at 715-538-1916. Sincerely, Virginia Gamroth, Service Specialist. And again, if you wish to call in during our public hearing, the number is 715-538-1770.
All right, Verge, what's the request?
Okay, I received an application from Errol Dorr on September 10th of '21, and the request was to do a rezone from rural residential to commercial for a storage facility, to be able to put a storage facility on there. We did publish the hearing in the Trempealeau County Times on September 15th and September 22nd. Letters were sent to adjoining landowners, the town clerk, and appropriate county board supervisor. As you can see by the map in front of you on the screens, that the land use plan has the land as proposed as R20, and Errol is proposing to rezone it to commercial so that he can put his storage units in, according to our table of uses in our zoning ordinance. In order to put the storage facility there, it has to be rezoned to commercial. If approved, it would go to full county board on October 18th, 2021. Errol did provide me with a proposed building, what the building would look like, and a temporary outlook of what he's proposing, so I can pass that around. I also did want to note that I talked to Raleigh Jessvang this morning from the Highway Department about access to the storage facility. And he said that he's already approved for a driveway there, because as we all know, there's a trailer home on the site right next to where he's proposing the storage unit. And Raleigh said that he really didn't need any other approval. The driveway's already there, so he didn't need anything else from the Highway Department. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I know there were questions about that.
All right.
So that's all I have for you.
Errol, do you have anything to add?
No, I guess not. It's on the intersection of County C and 53. I think it's an ideal location for a storage facility. Obviously, it's going to get good eyesight. This board, I believe, recommended and was approved by the county for the adjacent land for 3 acres, be the south and east of mine, for 3 acres in commercial storage units. Was just approved, last month or something like that, I believe. They'd have to clarify, I don't know for sure, but from Marissa Howe. I had planned on doing this a long time ago. I had submitted an application, which I reluctantly withdrew several years back, maybe, I don't know, 3-4 years back. But because of the local animosity, but once Marissa Howe put hers through and there was zero disregard for it or zero objection, I watched it on the hearing on the line, and so I felt that if I'm ever going to do it, now is the time to do it, because that was my original plan with that land. So with there no objection to it across the road, I figured there probably wouldn't be, but I think we'll have some today. But that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer anything you might have.
Well, wait, there may be some questions after the public hearing section, and thanks for the pitch for WCTO, our local cable channel, which is streaming this live to the world. So, again, I think some of you folks are going to want to speak. Beth has got some registration forms here. The issue is the rezone to commercial, and we'll try to keep the comments short if at all possible. Okay, I know your time is valuable, and we have other things on the agenda, so let's try to keep it to around 3 minutes or so for anyone who wishes to testify. What do we got? You call them out.
I call them out.
Yeah, so-
You've always done it before.
Have I? Oh, okay, well then give it to me and I'll do it.
You're the official one.
No, you're the official. You're sitting here too. So we have, this is related to the Errol Door request. Brandon Troxler is here, wants to register in opposition but not testify. Brandon, are you, okay. If you do want to testify, you can? No? Okay. Mary Foss, hey Mary, wants to testify in opposition. You'll have to come up here, push the button for her, okay. Let's pull that down a little bit. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm here in opposition, and I'll just state the reasons that I am opposed. First of all, we feel that a storage facility close to the beach school would be detrimental to our area. And we feel that we have some integrity with the beach school. There is a group of us that have worked very hard for the last 30 years to maintain the beach school, keep it presentable. It is a historical building in our county, and as we all know, there's very few beach schools or old country schools left that are not residences or something else. Our school is used by local artists, and also we raise money for its maintenance during our beach days every year. So we feel there's a lot of integrity there, and we don't feel a commercial building would be is really justifiable so close to the school. We do not feel there was a precedent set a month ago regarding the storage facility that is going to go across the street, that is going to be further down, and it should not be a detriment to the school. So we don't feel there's a precedent there. We do have some safety concerns. It does sound like the driveway's already been approved. However, there is an intersection there. There's a lot of traffic now that goes, and we're just concerned about more traffic going in and out to a storage facility. There's neighbors next door or across the street. They could be affected with possibly people going to pick up stuff at midnight. We're wondering about lights, how that could affect the neighborhood. So we think that there's several issues. We also want to make sure that I would like to know what the definition of a storage facility is. I want to make sure that not just something can be brought in and designated a storage facility. So I think that's a question that we would like to have answered. And I think, and just one other thing, and this is based on a Town of Ettrick comprehensive plan. yes, certainly that we do want businesses in our community. However, we want to make sure that a proposed business does not jeopardize the rural character of the town of Ettrick. And I feel that this could jeopardize the rural character of the town of Ettrick. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. 2.5 minutes. Good job. I'm going to move to Lori McCann, testify in opposition.
Hello there, I'm Lori McCann, and I own the house across the street from where he's proposing this, and I already know what the traffic is like there. You have traffic coming from Hague, you have traffic coming from Docks, Blair, and Ettrick, and it's crazy. And I mean, now that the road has been redone, it's beautiful, but it's a very busy intersection, and to add one more road with people coming in and out, I just feel it's a little dangerous. So, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lori. Alan Foss is registered to testify in opposition. Alan? Oh, there you are.
Use up 15 seconds walking.
What's that?
I'll use up 15 seconds of my
just
time walking.
Yes.
I too would like to oppose the zoning rechange for this property. I get the idea of doing something for business. It's important to the county for businesses to come in. I'm not against that whatsoever. I'd like to speak just for the fact of keeping the historical feeling of the school property and not have something else added to that location. Our community has worked hard for many years to keep that pristine, and we'd like to continue that. Another question, where do we go from here? Is there going to be other things coming into the area that we can't control? Sure. But this is something I think we can control right now and keep the area historical feeling for the future. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for getting this around. Patty, I can never pronounce your last. I'm not even going to try. Say it for me again.
Jessick.
Jessick, okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Patty Jessick, and I live on County seat, Washington Cooley. I want to oppose the rezoning of this Beaches Corner area. I'm really concerned about the traffic, which it's already scary to pull out there. And the historic school, we're just really lucky to have that, and it's being used, and I just want to maintain that rural setting. So please do not rezone it. Thank you.
Got a couple more here. We haven't been this popular for a long time. Harold Troxler. Pardon? Randy?
Well, I'll wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Did you get to see this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Thank you for recognizing me. My name is Harold Troxler.
You, I do recognize.
Pardon me?
I do recognize you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I recognized you too. The hair was a little different this time.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, I applaud progress. Don't get me wrong. However, I think it's very detrimental to the community to insert something that would cause problems in our community. Again, the traffic is an issue. The attraction of a storage building directly across would adversely affect the historical value of our school and our neighborhood, and for that reason, I oppose rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy Horton wishes to testify in opposition.
I'm also speaking in opposition with a lot of the same issues that have been addressed. I will say that this is not in the Town of Ettrick Comprehensive Zoning Plan. The commercial district is along Highway 53, the edge of Village of Ettrick is where we put it, and this is not in there. It is in rural residential, and there's both houses that are directly across from this facility are here today objecting to this. It is busy. It's too busy there. There are small children in houses that around there that already are in jeopardy whether those cars come through there. That unit that's on that picture has an awful lot of little units. You're talking a lot of traffic coming in there, and I don't know how he even has room to put roads and access and places for people to park when they're going into their facilities. I don't know how that's going to happen there. It's too crowded, and it's blocking the schoolhouse, which is an historical building, and very few of them in this county. The other thing is there is other historical property up there across the road. There's the old, that Al and Mary Foss are refurbishing now. They're getting those back. They're restoring them, and that's a lot of work for them to go into, work and money and time to have this facility across the road. I don't think it's fair to do that to the beach community, and as far as those ones on the other property across the road, they are all the way down at Weisenberger's line. It's a very small parcel, and that's it. The rest of it's rural residential. It will be houses, which will fit into what's going on there, and that's what's across from the schoolhouse, is the rural residential and the houses, not the storage units. So that's that, and you know, it will be increased noise. It will be security lights. I mean, you're talking people who live right there. Security lights and traffic with this. What was the other thing? And it just, we have county documents to keep the rural character of this county, and for tourism, and I mean, the schoolhouse is a tourist stop. People come there. It's also a stop on the bike route for people to come and get water or whatever they need. So that's where I'm at with it. So I would urge you to deny this one. Thank you.
All right. I'll ask a second time, is there anyone who wishes to speak to this issue? And again, the phone number is, Beth?
715-538-1770.
Okay. We did have a letter from the town of Ettrick, correct?
Yes, we do, yes.
And
I
did
have
we have
several things to...
Oh, okay, let's do that now then.
Okay, the letter from the town of Ettrick is dated September 7th, 2021. Dear Sirs, in the matter of Errol Dora's rezoning from rural residential to commercial on his property on County Road C in the town of Ettrick, the town of Ettrick has no objection to the granting of this rezone. John Varenkamp, Town Chairman. Do you want me to keep reading?
Sure, go ahead.
I did receive an email from Marissa Howe. I'm mentioning it because the question she had was if his rezone would have any effect on her building her units. And I told her from a zoning standpoint, I didn't think so.
Okay, did you want to read it?
Well, there's other things in it having to do with the survey and so forth. So,
Oh, okay.
Not
related to this reason.
The line was just a few questions. If he gets approved, it shouldn't have any effect on me building my units, correct? And like I said, I answered her and said, from a zoning standpoint, I don't believe so.
Okay.
So, Nancy, do you want me to read that email you sent the other day to Mark?
Oh, that was just a question, right?
Yes.
We didn't do that, did we? Yeah, it was about the overlays.
Yes. Do you want me to read it? Okay, Nancy sent a letter. It says, Mark, I will be at this public hearing this Wednesday concerning the rezone request by Aerodor. I'm concerned and opposed to this request and want to make sure you have overlays on the monitor of setbacks from the highway floodplain property lines, which we always do. This is a residential and historical district. Commercial uses do not fit in and are not included in the Town of Ettrick Comprehensive Plan, Smart Growth Plan. The 1909 schoolhouse is still owned and maintained by the Beach Community Club and is open to the public and hosts work from 14 local area artists. Thank you, Nancy Horton. I also received a call from Randy Tollefson, who is the county board supervisor for that district, on October 4th. He is unable to come because of health issues. He just stated that he has been getting lots of calls about this. He doesn't agree with it. He doesn't want it to be approved without plans being presented, and he said that he had also talked to you about the issue.
Right.
So that's
Basically saying the same thing.
That's basically what he said, and that's all I have.
Okay. I'll ask a third time, is there anyone who either wants to call in, what is this? Call in at 715-538-1770, or here who wants to speak to this issue of a rezone.
Can I say one more thing since I have 30 seconds left?
You'll have to come all the way up here, that's 10 seconds unless you run. Okay, go.
Okay. So I had not seen this until just now. So, and it looks like a lot of units, as Nan mentioned, and I especially now oppose it because this looks very much like something that would be not conducive to our rural plan. This is very commercial. It's a lot of units, and again, a lot of traffic. And I just want to make note that I don't feel that this is appropriate for our area. Thank you.
Okay. I will close the public hearing, not hearing the phone ringing, at 10:04 and open it up to the committee for discussion, possible action.
I make a motion to deny the request.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
I will second that. Do you want reasons?
Now we
No?
will do discussion. Okay, we have a motion, a second to deny.
Right. I don't want the audience to think that one rezone means the next one is automatically approved. That's one thing. I think it's the wrong place, just the wrong place. I know there's a lot of community support for what's going on there, and I think it just doesn't look right. I think it's just not the right place. And then I'm also kind of curious, I know it was a little longer ago than a month, but you sold the land to Marissa for that purpose, and now you're doing the same thing?
No, that's incorrect. I sold that land to Marissa and her husband, Bryant Lingen, for building a house. They were going to have a 10-acre hobby farm with a shop and a house. And then after they got divorced, she decided to rezone it to R20 and then 3 acres of commercial for storage units.
Okay, thanks.
We have a motion, a second. Beth?
The reason that I was going to deny two reasons, George and I had met at the FSA office a while ago, and one of the comments that, I forget his name, but the head of our region mentioned is, boy, you sure are permitting and rezoning a lot of storage facilities, which kind of struck me. It's like, yeah, or how much land are we using for more people to store more stuff, myself included? I'm a storer. But since there are the other ones right across the road, how many do we need in this area? And the other reason that I was going to deny is in my packet, I don't see the plan of where this facility will be with the, drawing on where the setbacks are and all of that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. the issues that were brought up earlier by Mike and myself point out that we can deny based on the, what was
Future land use. We can deny based on the consistency law within the state statutes, and I think the future land use map has, what's the category there?
R20.
R20, so it's a residential zone in the future land use map.
And Town of Ettrick also has a commercial district, I think that was pointed out by the last person, that extends out along Highway 53 in around Ettrick. We have a motion and a second to deny. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Errol, we deny. We're going to move on to the next item, which is the County Conservationist Report, which I think it says here, update on land and water presentation, which I was present at yesterday. And Chuck,
Thank you all for coming.
thanks for coming. Chuck did a wonderful job. He had all the right notes, incredible support for what goes on in Trempealeau County. And Chuck, do you want to get into the specifics about that?
Thank you. We did pass. Yay.
Yay.
And it's no little feat because, as I learned later on, there were 3 counties that have been rejected so far this year or asked to come back to it. As George will testify, I was pretty nervous in the beginning because they were giving one county quite a hard time, but they had quite a few questions about our mines and our staff at that point. They were asking
Couldn't get him to
some.
stop clicking his pen. It was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it was clear you were unaware of it, and I was just wondering if the microphone was picking that up. So.
I guess I'm still nervous from yesterday. But we did pass, and I do not think anybody voted against us yesterday, but it did go well, and I'm glad about that. Some other things that I...
Can I just, what's at stake here? If they hadn't approved our update or our report, our 5-year report on our progress on the land and water management plan, what would have been at stake?
That was discussed later on in the meeting, and they were trying to put more teeth into it, but at this point, it has not been determined. But they were talking about withdrawing some of the cost sharing from the states, from DADCAP and DNR.
But none of the DADCAP grants for staffing, I mean, would that have been on the table as well?
That could possibly be on the table, plus we get, we get 30,000 for SEG, and then we get another 66,500 for SEG bonds. And our staffing grant is, I believe, 120,000.
Yeah, we were just talking about that this morning at the... Okay.
So the other things, we have, at this point, 14 projects that were signed up for cost sharing. We surveyed 2 at this point. We have a deadline to sign up contracts for the hard practices by December 31st.
That's for next year.
No, that's for this year. We're going to need to sign contracts for hard practices for this year by the end of December, something that I'm very well aware of. The mines have been mostly inspected, but I have been I've been writing the reports, but I'd like to review it with the DNR personnel to make sure that all my ducks are in the row. Good news.
Chuck, I want to slow down again, and this I think was a little confusing to the members of the committee, that Land and Water Conservation Board. You're reviewing both types of mine, industrials that we oversee, industrial sand and aggregate mines?
That is correct.
Yeah, so we have more aggregate mines that are permitted than we have industrial sand mines.
Correct.
Okay. So, but you're doing all of them, or trying to do all of them?
Well, what I'm doing right now is the ones over 1 acre. There's approximately, I think, another 25 or so that are under an acre.
Okay.
Though I'm pretty much through inspecting the ones over an acre at this point.
Okay.
On to the good news. We have cost sharing available and for cover crops at $25 an acre. We need to have these people signed up by October 20th, and they need an up-to-date nutrient management plan. So please come in the office or give us a call, but we would like to sign up people for cover crops. We will then spot check those practices as they're completed. And that's all I have.
I do want to say that the chairman of the committee and a couple of the committee members were interested in knowing the size of our staff. They remember these are the older members of the committee who remember the watershed programs and our dozen or so people in, how many people at the height verge were in conservation? Mark was part of that staff, and you were part of the conservation department, and there were a lot of people. And we are currently at 2 full-time and 1 part-time. So they encouraged us to think about, knowing what's on our plate, to think about hiring more people if at all possible. So.
Where was this meeting? Was that virtual?
Yeah, it was virtual. They were from everywhere, everyone, pictures and so forth, but from DATCAP, yeah. Okay. Any questions for Chuck? Okay, so we're moving to the new fee schedule draft. This also got a little bit of traction in the budget hearing this morning for the in front of Exec Finance. It looks like Mark's here to talk about it. Are you? Oh, okay.
I could talk about it.
Well, talk about it, Mike.
Yeah. So essentially, instead of employing our own employee to do uniform dwelling code inspections, we now contract that service out. We have been working under a temporary interim contract with GEC. And so one of the things we had to do is update our fee schedule to represent, to kind of coincide with our new contract that we signed with GEC. Essentially, we're trying to recover our costs with that contract, plus a small amount of administration fees. So what you'll see in additions here are, with the UDC code, there's additions for, there's a cost, currently there's a cost per square foot, but one thing we're updating on here is the addition of mechanicals, is mainly the addition of mechanicals to that fee schedule.
Which are, inspecting mechanicals on the...
in the building,
in
like,
the building, okay,
you know, it
yeah.
could be
HVAC.
a furnace or HVAC type stuff.
Okay, yeah, there it is, you're right.
So, so those are all, you know, under additions, remodels, those kinds of things. We do, we also have wording down there, reinspection for corrective actions ordered. So, you know, essentially if something wasn't done right, a reinspection has to be done. So, it's just a little bit of an update on our fee schedule, but for the most part, it's pretty similar to what we've had to date.
And so the blue is what's been added?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve the fee schedule update. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, a second. We have a motion and a second to approve the fee schedule for land use and zoning permits. Becky has just popped in. Is there anything you want to add to this? Because you're the money person. No? Okay, Mike did a good job.
He did a great job. Nope, I'm here for a couple more down.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, if there are no more questions, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, the revised fee schedule for land use and zoning permits has been approved. So I was looking at the same thing. Zoning code amendment update. Mark's here for that.
I want to hear what's being said about it, I guess.
Oh, okay. So he's not saying, he's listening.
Put in my 2 cents if necessary. then.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, just wanted to share with the committee that one of the things I've spoken with staff about and heard their feedback is that really our current county zoning code was adopted in, I believe, 1972, am I correct? And a lot of changes over the decades have occurred, and so we're in the process of identifying areas where we would like to do amendments to the county zoning ordinance, and so we'll be bringing that forward to the committee in the coming months. But there's work to be done in the definitions, our use, the table of uses per zoning district, and things like that. So we'll be bringing forward some amendments, but we're working on that. There's a lot of work to do in a code goes back to 1972, and the
There
whole
have been revisions since then, right?
there's
2000?
There's been some amendments over time,
Yeah.
and
Well, there was, and some updating, and Ryan Radke spent years combing through all of the zoning
Right.
ordinances and making sure things were
It's
where
a-
they were
it's a-
supposed to be.
It's a dynamic, land use is a dynamic field, so there's things to update, and so we're working on those things. So we'll be bringing those to the committee.
Mark, anything to add?
No, not really. I mean, we discussed it at other meetings. We just need to upgrade. Some of the different uses that are out there now that were never around at that time need to be kind of addressed and put in there and, get some plan for the future type things, and you need some revamping in those areas.
Okay. As a way of reflecting how the county has changed over time.
Right. I mean, other counties have a table of uses that is much, much longer than ours, and it spells out a lot of different things that we're seeing, but it's not in our table of uses. We need to get those things in there so we can address them correctly.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for these guys? Now, Becky, cost share payments?
Yes. So the reason I popped down here, because you guys can easily handle these too, but there's a couple additions that I got when I was coming back from budget, so I wanted to get those in right away since they were already on my desk. So there's going to be 2 more added on to the 2 that you already have on your sheet.
These are in the manila envelope, yes.
So we'll start off with the county cost share. The one that's not on your sheet right now is Dana and Heidi Stoner. That is going to be $6,258.70, and that is for a manure storage closure in the village of Ettrick.
How much, what's the amount there?
$6,258.70 of county cost share. Oh, you know what? This one, it is riprap. Sorry, that one, it was, I didn't change it over when I was rushing down here. Okay, so riprap.
Did you just finish?
Yeah, they got on my desk, and I wanted to make sure they didn't have to wait another month.
No, I mean finish with budget, just.
Yeah, we finished with budget when we
An
came
hour
down
ago.
after you guys,
okay.
So.
So that's town of Ettrick.
Yep. Then it's Lee and Dylan, it says Lee, but Dylan Slobby. That one is Stream Bank and Shoreline Protection, and that is $6,132.70.
That's on the sheet. That's already.
Yep, that one's on the sheet, yep.
Oh, okay.
And then
All right.
David Malum's on the sheet too. The next one for county cost share is David Malum, and that is $950 for Stream Bank and Shoreline Protection in the town of Gale. And then the new one that you guys haven't seen before is a program that we're finally starting to be able to spend funds out of. It is the multi-discharge variance.
Oh, yeah.
So I've added that, so you guys will see those payments come through, so you're kind of up to date on what's going on with those. The first one is Ronald and Marita Halama, and that is for Stream Bank and Shoreline Protection for $5,509.98 in the town of Hale.
Okay.
$5,509.98. Here, Burge, you can have.
And that's the only one in that one?
Yep, that's the only one. So the two additions were Stoner and Halama.
So this is money that has come from different sources. One is DATCAP money?
No, so county cost share is the.
Oh, this is our county cost share
Yep,
stuff.
that is county
Okay.
cost share, and the
And-
other one is the MDV funds.
Okay.
And that is coming from the municipalities for that
Right.
program.
All right, got it. So we have do we have a motion to approve the county cost share grants as well as the municipals grants? By Nelson, the motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Severson. Okay. Any questions? Okay, all in favor of approving these grants, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Isn't on the agenda. Anything else?
I do have something, and this is just I wondered if the P-TEC, Ted, would, I know probably everybody heard about the problem that Eckers are having with traffic accidents. And I wonder if, the tourism would, I know they're looking for, avenues to help, and they're reaching out to, DOT, and I wonder if, if nothing else would, show support to them.
I heard the 6 o'clock WKBT news last night, and
There was another accident down by
Another
Eckers?
3-car, 2 in 1 week.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
I was not aware of any of this going on until I saw the
Right by
news.
Eckers Orchard.
And I did have an email that I'm going to follow up today after the meeting, meet with the sheriff and see what's what, because I know the news article or news clip said, the sheriff was going to be involved. But I am aware now. Just people drive too fast and they don't pay attention.
Well, there's more than one business there in just a short
Right.
distance, too.
Like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
4.
and there's people turning in and turning out of the winery road, and then there's Schwartels and Eckers, and, yeah, and there's also.
And the berry patch.
Oh, and the berry patch is just down the road, yeah. And right now, between pumpkins and apple season and all of that, it's all very much a busy
Apple pie and
area.
ice cream at Eckers.
But thanks for bringing it up. I'm going to follow.
So, that's really, should be turnoff lanes. Same way up north, we got that, well, it's a different name now, the co-op. On Highway 53 there, you got semis and cars.
And there
They
is
should have had a turnoff lane, and I
Oh,
don't know why
right,
they
they
don't.
don't? I
Nope.
mean, that's a huge operation there.
Yeah.
Kings Valley, is that what it
And
is?
they-
Yeah.
That
They don't
should've
give
been-
those up easy, do
I
they?
know,
Those
no.
turning lanes.
Yeah.
And there is a redo scheduled for 35, I think in 23. So, maybe they need to get the ball rolling. I know they've already asked and talked, and they were told no.
And the redo on Highway 93 from Arcadia to Centerville, I know I was at one of the town meetings and discussing about turn-off lanes. Well, I don't see that happen,
No,
We just
They
need
do
to
it.
have more people killed, I guess,
No.
before you get any action,
They ask for
unfortunately.
input, and then they do it anyway.
Yeah.
They do it their way anyway.
I hate, this isn't, historically, the fishing opener was kind of a big deal. And one year it came to Trempealeau. And Governor Thompson came to Trempealeau to do the fishing season open. And the people who were concerned about the intersection in Galesville, where there had been a fatality and a number of
2 in a short.
period of time, put him in a car and took him up to Galesville and said, we need a stoplight here. And it happened. So there are channels and then there are channels. So The governor was just in Jackson County last week, comes through this area on a regular basis, so maybe it's time to find other channels. Okay, our next meeting date is November 3rd, this room at 9 o'clock, I assume. And seeing nothing else on the agenda, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all so much, and thanks to WTCO for covering this.
Okay, I just want to clarify.